And it's time now for Worldview with Britt Clennett. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is expected to meet Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen in California this afternoon. The rare encounter is being closely watched after Beijing claimed the meeting will damage relations between the U.S. and China. Britt Clennett has more on that and some of the day's other international headlines from Taipei. Hi, Britt. So what's the goal of this meeting and how important is China's reaction to it?
Hi, Diane. Well, this is actually more significant than really either side is saying, and that's because both the US and Taiwan are trying not to inflame tensions with, of course, China. But, you know, this is a big moment for Taiwan-US relations. McCarthy is the highest-ranking official to meet a Taiwanese leader on American soil. Now, initially, if you can remember, this meeting was kind of expected to be held here in Taiwan, but the plans changed, you know, surrounding worries that it, again, might prompt an angry response from China. When former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi came to Taiwan in August, you might remember, Diane, it triggered this kind of unprecedented response, these drills, and Beijing even flew a missile over this island. So, you know, China has thrown out some very strong statements ahead of this trip, warning of countermeasures. So we're just looking to see whether there's going to be any retaliation after this big meeting, Diane.
Now, Mexico's president has also asked his Chinese counterpart for help in halting chemicals coming from China that are being used to illegally produce fentanyl. What's the latest on that?
Yeah, this is, you know, not so shocking, really. It's the first time President Obrador has slammed the U.S. over the fentanyl problem. He kind of frames it as a U.S. issue. You know, this is what he's been doing. He once even blamed American families for the lack of hugs. He's saying that was the problem. But he's really digging in now. You know, in a letter to Chinese President Xi Jinping, he talked about rude threats from U.S. officials. He even said the U.S. is blaming Mexico for its own welfare issues. It's widely believed, though, that most U.S. fentanyl is made in Mexico from Chinese-made chemicals. And Obrador does actually mention exports of fentanyl further down in his letter, asking him to stop shipments, but only after venting about the U.S. is that the U.S. is the cause of the problem for several paragraphs. So Obrador denies that fentanyl is produced in Mexico, but it is a serious problem, and it's why it's causing such an uproar in these tensions. You know, the opioid is blamed for about 70,000 overdose deaths per year in the US. So it is a serious issue, and that's why you're seeing these kind of inflamed tensions and these very harsh words from the Mexican leader.
And Britt, Jacinda Ardern has officially stepped down as New Zealand's Prime Minister. She gave an emotional final speech to the country's parliament today. How significant is this, and what's next for her?
You know, Ardern really steered New Zealand through a number of disasters, a number of crises in that country, including the 2019 Christchurch mosque massacre, in which a white supremacist opened fire at a mosque and killed 51 Muslim worshippers. It was really a shocking attack, and it really did shock the entire nation. As she's now very much devoting herself to stamping out online extremism in a bid to avoid these kinds of horrific attacks from ever happening again. And in her new role, it'll see her kind of working with governments around the world and social media companies too to target terrorist content online. And although Ardern was very much loved overseas, abroad, she had star power, people would say, she did have plenty of critics at home. And it's a fate similar to Finland's Prime Minister Sanna Marin. Although, unlike Ardern, who chose to step down, Marin lost her bid to stay in power. So there are some parallels there.
All right, Britt Clennett in Taipei for us. Thank you, Britt.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.